Hello and welcome, guys. We are back. The sound might be a little bit different. I'm still kind of waiting on a new headset to come in so I can do some recording. So this is actually just off of my laptop microphone, of course with some edits. But in general, the sound quality should be alright. You might hear a bit of tipping and tapping and that kind of thing and like keyboard strokes and stuff since I am not using the microphone that I usually use, which you could see here. Trying to get one that's a little bit better and one that works with the updates to my computer's drivers. So if you'll bear with me on that. I know I personally actually kind of like that sound of like the key tapping, like when somebody hits F6 or whatever. That kind of thing. I actually think it's a little immersive personally, but if you don't like that, should be gone pretty soon. Probably by the end of this league, I would think. Speaking of by the end of this league, when you see this video, it should be coming out this upcoming Monday for me, so that means that for you guys, it will be the day of the announcement of the bannings and unbannings in Historic, Modern, there's Pioneer, there's another format, I don't know. I only play Modern and follow Modern, so that's the only thing that I am at all interested in. So the majority of this league, if not all of it, is most likely going to be played before that announcement comes out, so I guess it's a little bit of a time delay for you guys, but the reason I bring it up is because there's been some speculation that Splinter Twin may be unbanned. I've never seen a jump in price of Splinter Twin as much as this particular time. In paper, it's gone from $5 to $20, and I've always been a big Twin fan. If you haven't seen by the little Easter eggs of, blue-red cutthroat, Kiki, and all that stuff in my decks. I do enjoy myself a good blue-red combo control deck. I've played like Scape Shift and stuff in the past. That kind of thing. So anyways, maybe if Splinter Twin happens to be unbanned on the day that you see this video, maybe we can get a league in with Twin, because I do have the stuff for it. I'm missing some Blood Moons, but that's not a big problem. Yeah, I don't know. I'm hopeful for that to happen, but of course you'll know before I do at this point. So, anyways, that's enough talking about setup and stuff. Let's go ahead and talk about this list here for a second. I have tried things like Fierce Empath, additional Talari Wests, no counter magic in the sideboard, no Pact of Negation in the deck at all, a variety of different things for Ancient Stirrings. And as of right now, just before this ban and unban announcement, this is kind of where I've landed at for the Amulet Titan shell, at least for my personal usage. I like having access to all the explorers that we can possibly get. I think Stirrings is good, but not quite good enough to warrant as many copies as 4. I even could consider going down to 2 copies of Stirrings. I know that the league with the Fierce Empaths did not go quite as intended, and we also faced Bant 3 times, which is quite a bit of variance there, and I'm still interested in testing that card just a little bit. But that said, I didn't feel inspired to include any Fierce Empaths in this list, so maybe I will reserve that testing for a future list. As of right now, I'm just playing what I would consider to be the bread and butter of Amulet, just like the basic stuff. All of your I say this all the time, so I'm not gonna repeat it, but all of your stuff, like 4 copies of Grazer, 4 copies of Amulet. I could also see potentially testing out Sakura Tribe Scout. In fact, now that I'm saying that, I may want to go ahead and switch the Grazers for that, because I've found that Tribe Scout is much more valuable in the matchups that revolve around Arkham's Astrolabe, specifically those Bant control matchups or other like Urza decks and stuff. Having Tribe Scout over Grazer is going to be a pretty big plus. Maybe that's something that should entice me to go back to a switch. I don't know. I prefer Grazer, and I think it just makes those red aggro matchups significantly better, if not completely positive. I don't know when the last time I lost against Burn, for example, was, and sometimes having a Grazer versus a Scout can be the difference between winning or losing against, against a deck like Burn. That said, Scout is a lot weaker against Prowess, and I think that Prowess is more popular than Burn at the moment, so regardless, I'm gonna stick with Grazer for the time being. In the sideboard, we've got a second Tireless Tracker. This is a card I've been quite impressed with, and we've cut down to 2 Beast Withins. The only matchup where I ever really brought in 3 was in those control matchups, and they're pretty terrible matchups, in all honesty. and I'm not sure that having a third Beast Within is going to make or break those matchups. I find myself frequently only needing to, like, against, like, Tron opponents or against, people playing Ashiok. Flooding on Beast Withins is a very unfortunate thing to occur, and I oftentimes feel like 2 Beast Withins more than enough covers it. So that was the cut, the third Beast Within for the second tracker. Everything else is pretty standard over here, too, so yeah, we're playing a Pact of Negation main board as well. That's just because I think that having the Pact is relevant against those, like, blue-white control decks where you need to force your Titan through, like, some sort of counter magic. Like, say you want to cast a Summoner's Pact, but, you can't transmute for a Cavern because you don't know whether the Summoner's Pact will resolve or not. Well, if you have the 9 mana available the upcoming turn, you can Summoner's Pact, play your Titan, and then back it up with Pact of Negation instead. Or Pact of Negation one of their forces or something, if they happen to have interaction for your Summoner's Pact. And that's very reasonable, so. Anyways, we'll see how it does in practice. It's also relevant against those combo decks like Storm. It's relevant against Tron. Can be relevant against the Mirror. Things like that. It's nice to be able to set up to ensure that your Titan sticks and your opponent can't do anything about it. So, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and pull up a match here. And like I said, you will hear a little bit of, clicking and tapping sounds as I interact with the keyboard. I do apologize for that. Would like to play first. They say good luck. I'm going to say good luck back. And close the chat. We don't need any distractions here. Alright, so we've got a hand that has 2 amulets, an Explorer, and a Summoner's Pact. This would be the absolute nuts if one of these lands was untapped. But regardless, it's still a great keep. This is a turn 3 Titan. So, can't really argue with that. We'll get our Gambrig out there. Oh, are they playing Titan too? Well, we've got a really good hand against the Mirror, that's for sure. That is for sure. So, we're most likely going to be trying to set up a Ghost Quarter here to make sure that after we resolve our Titan, they can't resolve their Titan. We're hoping they don't have an Amulet here, but it is possible that they do. But yeah, our hand is just insane in the Mirror here. We even have the Dryad to go along, so we can probably kill their Dryad this upcoming turn. Yeah, this is probably too much. Actually, if we just put a Titan into play without playing our Dryad, they still would have to block, but I think getting the Dryad into play is going to be more relevant than not. So, let's get this Growth Chamber out there, I suppose. I'm going to hit 5 just in case I set any yield triggers. Yields to these triggers, I should say. And I suppose we might as well cycle Explore here. I'll use a blue, I suppose. Oh, no. Not the Boros Garrison. It's probably not going to matter. We have Dryad, so let's go ahead and play our Boros Garrison, I suppose. Might as well get it into play. And I think we need to go ahead and activate this. I'm going to float the mana from Talari West as well, so we don't use up all of our red and white mana here. Oh, wait. What am I doing? I do not have the green available for that. So, instead, let's just float with the Talari West and pick it up. A little sloppy, but we'll get there. Alright. And then we can play the TOS and have double green. Or we could play the Growth Chamber and activate and then be able to double Slayer's Stronghold anyways. Let's go with the TOS, I think. Alright. We're getting there. We are crawling our way through this turn. Alright, they're gonna go ahead and concede to make it easy on us. Thank you, opponent. They know. They know. Okay, so we definitely want Force, because that hits their amulets and their dryads. I think we may want Dismember as well. I don't know about all three, though. We definitely want Rex Sage and Beast Withins, so I'll bring those in. I don't think Dispute's going to be good. Tracker could be if they are able to answer our Titans, but I'm not sure that Tracker is going to be the move. Let's see, what do we want to cut here? They could be playing Uro, in which case we might want Bojuka Bog, but I'm going to go ahead and cut it. I don't think that if they are playing Uro, that the Bojuka Bog against it is going to be particularly relevant. Mostly this match revolves around getting Titan into play. We can trim one Stirrings, probably all of the Explorers. And maybe just one of those Dismembers that I was not so hot on. I don't know that Engineer Explosives is good here, actually. It lets us answer a zombie army. But other than that, like, I'm not really looking to blow up amulets, for example, with Engineered Explosives. That doesn't seem like a line that is super beneficial. And we can always just match their zombie production with our own zombies, especially since we have 2 Vesuvas as well, so we have a potential third Field of the Dead, so I think it's going to be fine to cut the EE. We'll submit this way. I recognize their username, but I don't know what from. Mistaken. I think this hand's just a little too slow. I mean, we can turn one Grazer, pick up the Cavern and replay it, but we don't have a Titan, we don't have an Amulet, and we don't have a 3-drop, so... I mean, the Pact of Negation is a good one, but I don't think it's good enough to keep on the back of, so... This has no actual lands, so we'll mulligan this too. I can't say I've ever drawn a hand like this, but you know what? We'll keep it. We can bend one of the Titans, and I suppose one of the Amulets. So here we'd like to draw another land, and possibly a 3-drop as well. We can probably function without all that, though, especially since our land is Garenbrig. Dude, that's the 4th Amulet, right? We definitely just put one on the bottom. Well, I apologize, opponent, for my luck sack draws, as they say. Zeus is pretty good. I mean, our opponent might just Titan us here, so... I think I should go ahead and play out both Amulets as well, just because we may not have the freedom to do so this upcoming turn. We do get really blown out by a Ghost Quarter here, but there's not much that we can really do about that. Sorry, I gotta pull the chat back up and apologize to my opponent for this. And they do have the Titan. So if they want to have access to Ghost Quarter here, then that should be easily available to them. We'd like to draw a land that enters tapped, that is not a bounce land, so that we can potentially cast this Dryad. Yeah, I mean, this could definitely go very south for us. Vesuv is not bad here at all. If we Vesuva their, say, breeding pool, I wonder if they would Ghost Quarter us here. Because we want to get this Dryad into play. That said, I don't know there's much that we can do about this. I'm going to go ahead and do the breeding pool because this might entice them not to Ghost Quarter us. And that way we can at least get Dryad into play this turn. Here's Dryad. And then we're free to go ahead and pick up our Vesuva here and play out our bounce land just because we can copy their Simic Growth Chamber, so... Yeah, I was gonna say, they probably just have to Ghost Quarter us, so we'll search. We'll get a Snow Forest, I suppose. And, yeah, these Amulet triggers are not gonna do much. And we can pick up our Vesuva here. Well, I'm glad that our little ploy worked by copying the breeding pool first, because this definitely put us in a much better position, so... Yeah. I mean, they might be able to do some stuff with the Dryad this turn. I don't know that it'll actually make any difference, though, because if we're able to resolve this Primeval Titan, I think we'll just be golden here, so... Not blocking for sure. Because we're going to have the Titan squad coming in. Each Titan is going to allow us to transmute a Summoner's Pact, although we boarded out, I think, a Summoner's Pact. We'll see. No? I usually would board out at least one Summoner's Pact in this matchup, maybe, but it looks like we have access to the whole team. Oh no, they have another Ghost Quarter. That's not cool. Well, now we need to draw a bounce land. What? Okay. Okay. That makes sense. Bounce land deck. Bounce land. Come on. Bounce land. Alright. We are cooking with gas. So here's land drop 1. We'll force them to Ghost Quarter us. And I have to imagine that they're just dead here. Oh no, they have Dismember? Okay, well, maybe I'm speaking too soon. Well, now I think we're in really bad shape. I think we can't win. This has been a very odd game. Well, it seems like their no amulet draw was well set up to beat our triple amulet draw. Just further proof that this deck does not live and die by amulet. We're probably just dead here with Valcut, so... We'll let them show it to us. Yeah, I'm not going to make them go through it, though. Alright. So, do we want to change anything on our sideboarding? It's possible that one Explorer would be better than a Summoner's Pact, but I'm not sure. I mean, that's a very minimal change. Or maybe the Stirrings is better, because that'll guarantee we have access to our Bounce Land or Amulet. Both of which are very important in this matchup. I don't mind that. Yeah, we'll submit this way. This time we're on the play. And we see a hand that has no untapped source, no amulet, no Titan. But it has Titan mana, and it does have quite a bit of ramp. I'm not sure if this is going to be good enough. Because we still need to top deck a Titan. So, turn 2, we're going to be able to play a Grazer and 2 lands. So, say, Field and the Sanctuary. Or maybe it would be Field and then Vesuva copying Garenbrig, so that we can play Dryad on turn 3. I don't think a turn 4 Titan, even if we draw a Titan, is going to be fast enough against them. I think I have to mulligan. This, on the other hand, is interesting. I think it's a keep, just because we can start ramping as early as turn 1, and the Beast Within allows us to interact with their bounce land if we have to. And I think what we're going to be bottoming here is actually the Pact Negation. Because it's going to be difficult for us to set up double blue to support that pact. And it's very possible that the card we draw in order to cast our own Titan is the Summoner's Pact, in which case it'll be difficult to be able to pay for both pact triggers, so... So they mulliganed to 6. I guess they're deciding whether they want to mulligan to 5 or not. It's a very interesting kind of sub-game here on the mulligans, because you don't know what's going to work, depending on whether your opponent has an amulet or not. It's a very unusual dynamic. We'll definitely lead on Grazer here. And we'll get this T-West into play, I suppose. They have Amulet. Okay. Well, we're definitely choosing the option of casting Dryad here over holding up Beast Within. So... The reason being, it's very unlikely they can actually Titan us this upcoming turn. They'd have to have a second Amulet and a Bounce Land and a Zusa and a Titan, something like that. And I'm not going to play around that. Well, there's the Azusa. No second Amulet. Okay. And we have our own Titan, but we're a mana short. So I think we're probably going to be Beast Withining this Simic Growth Chamber on their upkeep. So actually, to play around a Pact of Negation, we probably need to do it now. So I'm going to go ahead and make that the line. Do we want to swing 2? I don't think that we do. We're closer to getting our Titan than they are, so... Although they don't necessarily know that quite yet, but... Uh-oh. Well, do they have the Titan? Oh man, we're in quite bad shape. Although, because our Titan is going to allow us to potentially shoot their Titan down with Valakut, I mean, they'll probably get a Ghost Quarter here and prevent us from casting Titan in the first place. But we'll see. Yeah, if they just Ghost Quarter our Valakut here, even if we can... There's no way that we would be able to cast Titan this upcoming turn, so... Looks like their Mold of 5 was worth it. On the bright side, we get to block the 3/3. Oh man, they get to make a copy of Ghost Quarter? Oh boy. Yeah, there's not much we could have done about this, sadly. I suppose we could have passed with the Beast Within up and planned to hit their Titan if they went for the haste. I don't really know if that's going to be a winning line either, though, to be honest. Probably not. I was really hopeful they would let us get to our first main there. Obviously, not going to be a very good line from them if that were to happen, but that's just a little too pipe dreamy. I think we're just dead here. Pass it back. But yeah, they just sun home this. We'll see. It's probably just in time because my computer is obviously about to die here, so. So they're going for the Dryad. Good games. Alright. Well, yeah. The mirror's pretty 50-50. Looks like they made a good mulligan choice as well, so definitely good on them. Don't hate to lose to another Amulet player. Any Amulet player doing well, whether it's me or somebody else, is fine in my book, so yeah. Don't really have much to say about the list, to be honest. Maybe we should have mulliganed our 6-card hand. Who knows? They could have gone much differently there as well, right? So, like, if they had a hand without Amulet, or if they mulliganed to 5 and kept a hand that was similar to ours, I think that we would have been able to get there. They were able to get there on the back of that Amulet pretty much solely, which is what I was saying about the bringing in the third stirrings, potentially, is that Amulet is quite important in the mirror matchup. So definitely having an Amulet in your hand is a good reason to potentially keep a hand, even if the hand is otherwise lacking, just because Amulet does a lot of work. But yeah, if you have any opinions on how that particular match played out, if you would have mulliganed, or if you think I should have mulliganed, or if you would have kept and had the same fate, I don't know. What do you think? Was that just the touch of fate showing up to RNG our opponent and a win in that last game? I don't know. Our opponent definitely played very well against our triple Amulet draw in game 2, so I mean, I can't sit over here and say that they got lucky, because that would just be completely disingenuous, I hope that Splinter Twin gets unbanned. That would be great. I'd love that. And we'll all know by the time that this video comes out, or probably at least by the end of the day, so anyways. Alright, well, I'm going to call it there. This is Redface Menace, signing off.